Hi, I'm Joy, and today I would like to talk about Pluto in the 12th house. This is a somewhat difficult placement. I think 12th house placements just in general tend to be difficult, and Pluto tends to be difficult, so combine them, and now it's like this whole new level of difficulty. So what happens when Pluto is in the 12th house? So I do not have this placement. I've seen other people with this placement, and what tends to happen is the drive to transform becomes entirely unconscious. We're totally blind to it. So what we do is drive ourselves towards transformation in our lives without being able to see that that's what we're doing. So we can really set ourselves up for some very difficult situations where or like we might not even be doing it ourselves, like life itself may be doing it, like pushing us straight to this figurative death and rebirth. So it's like we're chugging along, and with this kind of disowned drive for transformation, like we don't want to transform. Like it's not a thing that feels want to do it. We just want to, move forward. And I'm not saying that most people enjoy transformation because it is a painful process. You can't become something new without saying goodbye to that old thing. And it can be very difficult to release that. And every time you do it, you have to go through the grieving process. Even if you're giving up something that wasn't good for you, that made you very unhappy, it's still something that's feels like it's a part of you, and it's very difficult to let that go. So when it's in the 12th house, we don't really get a choice about when, how, where we're going to do it. It just happens, and it takes us by surprise too. So we're just like chugging along, doing our thing, then all of a sudden, bam, I can't live like this anymore. I don't have a choice. I have to transform. And you might not even see what's happening. It's just like with the 12th house, there can be a feeling of entrapment, or quite literal entrapment. Like you don't get a say. Like it's transformation time. So it can be a difficult placement. So what do? Well, the key with anything with the 12th house is spiritual surrender. Accepting that it is what it is, and just allowing it to be that, and just flowing with it. And it requires giving up your sense of self and your feeling of being in control of things in order to do that. However, that's the way to find the higher expression of the 12th house. If you don't do that, you still don't get control over it. You never get control over anything in the 12th house. Forget about that. Instead, you end up with escapism, addiction, delusion, mental health issues. So it's better to just flow with it, let it be what it is, as much as you're able. I mean, I'm not trying to judge anybody. Like, we all do our best at any given point in time in life. So it can be very challenging, like I said. And you know what? Whatever you're doing, it's the best you can do right now. As you grow and develop, you'll learn how to do better. As you learn new things, you'll learn how to do better. But if escapism is all you can do right now, it just is. No judgment here. But maybe hearing that accepting it is the way to move through it in a more healthy way is all you need in order to start taking steps in that direction. I don't know. Anyways, so the last thing I want to say about Pluto in the 12th house is that this can be an extremely intuitive placement, because Pluto itself is rather intuitive and the 12th house is rather intuitive. So when you put them together, you can get a sense of, if you're willing to dive into the waters of the 12th house and just be in oneness with the universe, right? If you can do that, if you're willing to do that, if you know how to do that, there can be this really strong intuition about when life itself is about to have any major transformations. You know, you can feel it coming, and you can be intuitive about Pluto just in general, all of the Pluto themes just in general, but it comes to you in this like fuzzy, like symbolic, like dreamy kind of 12th house manner. And symbolism is a language in itself, archetypes and dreams, this sort of thing. So, getting comfortable with that, with not having a concrete answer about things, not knowing, like, I do not have any 12th house placements, but I've got Mercury in Pisces, and I tend to have a lot of, like, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, like prophetic visions and like important symbolic dreams and that sort of thing. And basically what it comes down to is like, sometimes you don't know if something is literal or symbolic, and sometimes like it seems like something's probably symbolic, and then it like literally happens the way it like, came through channeling or through a dream or through a vision or the symbolism of some event that happened in life where it was like, whoa, okay, this is definitely some kind of omen, like what's going on here. So like anything related to Neptune, 12th house, Pisces, it can all be like this. It can all be like, okay, so this is significant. I don't know exactly how. I don't know like when it's going to be relevant. It's definitely a thing though. And then you just kind of, you're on for the ride. Spiritual surrender. Don't try to like understand it too much, because as soon as you grasp onto a belief about how it is, you're further from the truth. No matter what that is, you're further from the truth. The more fuzzy and flexible it is, the more accurate it is. So in any case, that's about all I have about Pluto in the 12th right now. I would love to hear your comments. Go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And thank you for watching.